Still, and you'll go ahead and take questions. So, Coach, whenever you're ready.
Well, last week, able to start off with a win. Certainly as you go back and look at film, there's lots of room for improvement. And so that's kind of where we spent last week. One thing about playing on Thursday night is you got a chance to really spend more time on the film. You get an extra day of practice, an extra day of preparation, and an extra day to spend with the kids. The school starts today, and anytime you start school, it's not like professional football. It's a little bit different, getting the guys' mindset at practice today. So that's the biggest job we got, is making sure coming off early morning of getting up is making sure we have a good practice today. So with that, any questions?
Coach, what can you tell us about the defensive line injuries?
And I'm not really going to comment on that too much. Is that I always give an injury report. However, it looks like pretty for sure that Scott Epke is done for the season. So that's a major blow. But with that, the other two, they're not lost for the season, and we'll see how this week progresses with them. But that's where we're at with those injuries, and we'll see how the week goes. But tough deal for Scott, but you never know about that kid. So great kid, and he'll work hard. But that's where we're at with that.
You're expecting to have Maxwell back, though?
What's that?
You're expecting to have Michael?
Yeah, he'll play this week.
You have to take those guys, that group aside on Sunday, and be like, listen up. This is big for you guys. Everybody needs to step up and do their part with all these injuries.
Well, I think that we've done that through. I think they know. I don't think we have to tell them to step up. I mean, that's why we rep so many guys and so forth. But we're no different than Wisconsin situation, losing 2 defensive linemen in a particular game. We lost 3 in that particular game, a couple fairly early, and our guys that went in there stepped up and played well. So it's just part of the game, and if you're a football player and a coach, it's part of it, and you got to be lucky, sometimes, and not so lucky on the first game, and hopefully we'll stay healthy the rest of the year.
Would you guys give any thought to moving Harold back to defensive tackle?
Yeah, we moved him back. Yep.
With Steven Richardson, I know can you assess his first game, and then how moving forward his role might increase?
Well, they all. I think, as you know, since we've been here, we played 8 defensive linemen. So, I mean, his role was increased on Thursday night, and always has, and will increase more. It decides how we decide to substitute in that situation. But he played very well. I mean, as a true freshman going in and playing like he did, he did a great job, and certainly gained some confidence from his first game. And you always play low when you're a freshman. You always play, better the second game. But we played a lot of freshmen, and so, it's good experience for them. And they'll keep learning and keep working to get ready for the Big Ten, conference.
Mitch Leitner, he talked a little bit about Friday about his progression moving forward here as a passer. Can you talk a little bit more about that after you assessed it?
He'll be fine. We got to do I thought he settled down in the second half, and it's one of those things where I think sometimes we forget this is really his first start as a starting quarterback. Without somebody getting injured, and you're the guy, it's a lot different. But he'll play. He'll get better each week, and I always refer to Michigan State's quarterback last year. They had quarterback controversy, and they struggled early in the year, and then he just kept getting better and better. So as a coach, you stay focused, you keep him focused, and as well as your football team, and we know what Mitch can do, and our players, just through practice. You just got to continue to play in games and get used to the fast motions and so forth, and we got to continue to get better on offense, which we will.
You had mentioned about wanting to get KJ May more involved in the passing game. Do you still see that as being a big key, especially on Saturday?
Yeah, I don't think there's several players that is that need touches. Certainly Berkeley Edwards, because he can get it over with in a hurry, and David, as well as Donovan Jones. You know, we haven't had some of the stuff. Donovan's a year older, and I think he showed his burst of speed and what he has. Max Williams, and then KJ. So we've got some guys. We'll have Wolatorski back. So there's some guys that, you know, they will help this process come along, because great receivers certainly help a quarterback. And, you know, Donovan reached down back behind him and went the distance, and those are things that we need to continue to do. And life's about confidence. You know, it doesn't matter who it is. David Cobb's the best example in the world last year. You know, wasn't even starting in the first game. And then a couple injuries, and then he got better, and then all of a sudden he has a couple good games, and the rest is history. So I think anybody that does anything in life, confidence, once you gain some confidence, certainly helped Berkeley. I can promise you, he comes to practice, and he's got a little bit different swagger to him. You know, the secondary players, we were talking about it yesterday on the TV show with Mike, is that you can kind of tell when people go out to warm up who's got a little, you know, a little strut to them, and feel confident about things. You know, our secondary feels confident, and therefore you can kind of pick the players, if you think about it, that have the confidence right now, and ones that will get it as, you know, as we move forward.
Jerry, besides confidence, what do you look for in Mitch that will tell you he's really taken that next step? What do you look for in a quarterback to exude, like when you know that he's getting to the spot you want him to?
Well, I think a lot of it is that, you know, just keep moving forward. I mean, we played one football game, and just keep moving forward with the offense and continue to get better. And I judge quarterbacks if they can move the chains and win. So you got to keep winning. You move the chains. I mean, I've seen a lot of fantastic quarterbacks do everything. They don't, you know, can't, you know, they don't win. So I think winning has a big part of that, and his progression there. So, you know, I look forward, just like I think our whole coaching staff does, you know, Saturday afternoon, and continue to get our football team better.
You mentioned how Eastern Illinois was sort of bringing the kitchen sink early on. Do you kind of expect that because you're breaking in a relatively new starter at QB and you've got such a strong running game?
No, I mean, you're going to get 8, 9 in the box and things, but you know, when I say that, I mean, there's no question they blitz some, but they played zone coverage behind it a lot, and part of the deal was when you play a first opponent and you have no idea because of the coaching change, is that when I say move around on defense and bring people, it's a totally different thing than you worked on. So, you know, from an offensive line standpoint, you miss some blitz checks. As a running back, you miss some blitz checks, and then, you know, get pressure on the quarterback and so forth. But, you know, I just think that, you know, again, we won the game, and offensively, you know, we started to settle down in, you know, the second half. And like I said, it's all about repetition and playing. I mean, you can practice all you want, but you got to play in the games and keep getting better.
How much of that tide turning in that game was players settling in compared to adjustments you guys made?
No, I think a little bit of both. But block punt, anytime you play good in special teams and block a punt, I mean, that changes a whole game. You know, kicker kicking it out of the end zone all the time, they have to start from 25. That's pretty good. Punter being able to punt the ball and changing field position, that's the biggest offensive play in football. So I think the kicking game settled in, and then you know, we went. It's just like anything, is that you know, we went to running the zone scheme and picking up stuff and be able to get some creases and you know, make some throws, and you know, as I said, as the game moves on, you get better and you know, keep working.
This comes in.
Two quick ones. Do you think Drew Wolatorski will be back for sure? And number two is, it's the first day of school. Can you give us any update on Jeff Jones?
Yeah, you know, is that as far as Drew's concerned, you know, he will play, and as far as Jeff goes, I mean, I think he's happy and excited, and first day of school, and you know, seen him this morning, and I mean, it's a great time for him, and you know, hopefully how things turned out, and he does all his work, that he'll be practicing in the spring. You know, so there's certain things that, you know, I won't mention how the NCAA works and all that, but cautiously optimistic to see how that works out.
Jerry, Wilson and Campbell seemed like they were around the ball a lot Thursday night. Did that show up on film?
Yeah, the thing about defensively right now it just is different is I think about where we were when we started and where we're at now is that our secondary, we played a lot of 5, 6 defensive backs and linebackers. That first group can really run, and Damian and Devondre can really run, and they're long. Damian's wingspan, measured by the NFL scouts, longer than Rashid's. That's how long his arms are. And you talk about length. When you have length, you can get people. You can keep people from blocking you, and you tackle better. So no question, those guys, and certainly, and we're playing 7 no huddle teams, so you got to be able to run.
Talk to
Take,
Mark
this
Weiss.
will be the last question, Chris, go ahead.
Talk to Mark Weiss.
I haven't had a chance to because I didn't want to bother him because he's already gone to work, and that's a quick transition. But I will get a hold of him today, and I'm excited for him. He's a great kid. I can remember walking in my first meeting, he was standing right out there waiting on me, but he's waiting to play quarterback. So, but he's very athletic, and the reason he's there is Coach Turner. He had him in Cleveland, and that all that verbiage and all that stuff you have to learn. He knows it, and so I'm rooting for him. There's no question about that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it very much.
We'll be back.